Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Hidden Mischief by Alyndra, Quinn, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Ashton. I'm lightheaded, but not for the reasons I crave. I stare, throat constricted, at the surprisingly formal invitation in my hand. The thick, midnight-colored cardstock contrasts with the elegant flowing silver script, which reads, "You are cordially invited to a munch organized by Shattered Embrace. Place, Black Market Microbrewery and Beer Garden. Time, July 28th, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Weather permitting, the outside seating area will have black and red table decorations. In case of rain, ask the hostess for Callie." Self-doubt has me frozen in place despite the late afternoon sunshine rapidly heating my car's interior. I consider turning the ignition over, cranking up the AC, and heading home to cuddle Sassy and Sebastian. I huff at my cowardice. Isolation won't answer the questions my soul whispers to me at night after the lights are out. Questions hotter than the inside of this car. I'm way too young to be a lonely old cat lady. The pain of that future overcomes my fear. The only way to figure out what I want from a relationship, no, what I want and need from a lover, is to step out of my comfort zone. Way, way out of my comfort zone. Like contacting the most respected BDSM club in Houston for information on membership, then getting out of the car to actually meet the members. It's that last part that has me sweating. I shoulder open the car door with far more force than necessary, a sure sign of my spiking adrenaline. Thankfully, no one's parked in the spot next to my Toyota Camry, which would soon be old enough to vote if she were a person. Drawing a slow breath, I close the door with far more care than I opened it. I'm overdressed in my standard teaching attire, charcoal gray slacks with a matching jacket, a soft blue blouse, and black ballet flats. It'll have to do since I didn't have time to run home and change. I pass through the wrought iron gate and take in the outdoor seating area, locating a group around tables decorated with black vases holding beautiful long-stemmed red roses. A couple dozen people are mingling, chatting in pairs and small groups, having a wonderful time. My intrinsic shyness constricts my chest, and I fist the soft leather strap of my purse. New plan. Grab a drink while I bury my awkwardness. Since my knees are quaking at the sight of a handful of happy and friendly-looking people, no one would think I can lecture to hundreds of students or present in board meetings for some of the largest biotech companies in the country. Unfortunately for me, professional expertise doesn't translate into competence in social settings. The bartender looks up with a friendly grin as I approach, revealing a dimple on his left cheek. He doesn't have anxiety over meeting new people. Why would he? He's gorgeous with a capital G. "What can I get for you?" Piercing blue eyes flow over my face as he smoothly drops a cocktail napkin on the polished bar in front of the stool I perch on. "Could I please have a rum and coke? Heavy on the coke and light on the rum." I don't want to be tipsy on top of nervous. Draw another deep breath and try not to let my unease show. "You got it. I'm Graham. Do you need a menu? Happy hour will start soon." He studies me with calm, steady eyes as I fray the corner of my napkin. Reminding myself someone inviting me here, I reach again for some self-confidence. "No, thanks. It's nice to meet you. I'm Ashton. Just having one drink before I head over to meet the group." I nod across the patio towards the source of my anxiety. As he turns to grab the rum bottle, I add under my breath, "If I don't forget to breathe and pass out first." Heat rises in my cheeks when he chuckles softly, and I realize he heard my whispered comment. Shrugging, I try for nonchalance. Approaching groups of new people isn't my forte. He holds my eyes for a heartbeat, and then his gaze travels slowly, leisurely down my body as if he has nothing else in the world to do. Swallowing, I wrap my hands around my drink and grip it, refusing to fidget. Grown women in bars don't fidget at a mere glance. When his gaze returns to mine, I have the irrational impression that he's seen right through me. "You've nothing to worry about. Those are friendly people who will be happy to make your acquaintance, Ashton." "Friends of yours?" His dimple appears again, and something playful flickers in his eyes. "Yeah, I'm a member at Shattered Embrace." Can I be more awkward? "Oh, I didn't mean to offend." Another low, rumbly chuckle, which sounds as if I've just made the best joke ever. Or maybe the sexiest one. My nervous energy is making logical thought a lot more difficult than it should be. It's harder than that to offend me or anyone hanging out over there. Several of them enjoy having a bit of helpful nervousness at their disposal, though. He looks into my eyes again, clearly debating something. As he watches me, I tip back my glass and let the iced beverage slide down my throat to cool my rising anxiety. Helpful nervousness? What does that even mean? What are you thinking? I ask before my brain can catch up and veto speaking all my thoughts aloud. His lips quirk in a small grin. I'm trying to decide whether walking over there alone is something you need to do or if I should offer to introduce you. My head tilts as it does when I'm thinking. If they're your friends, why would I need to walk over alone? I suppress my quip about how impressive it is that he can decide my needs in 5 minutes. Murphy's Law has clearly prevailed and landed me face to face with a dom. A lethal one, if his self-assured demeanor bordering on arrogance is any indication. Why did I get out of the car again? His eyes are serious, his voice a soft murmur. Because actions have weight. They can either settle you or unsettle you, beautiful. Drawn in by his tone, I feign more confidence than I feel and murmur back. Which one are you aiming for? Whichever one helps you. I frown, confused, and not sure I like his cryptic answers. If this is his version of casual conversation, then he must be really frustrating when discussing something important. How would being unsettled help me? And why would you care? You've known me for 2.4 seconds. I blurt again, then close my eyes, mortified that I'm struggling with basic conversation. Breathe. This poor guy doesn't have any idea what a mess I am, and he doesn't need to. If I could just stop blurting out my most inconvenient thoughts. He steps around the bar and to my side. Because I like to watch people expand their horizons and conquer their fears. There are usually some wobbly places inside when that happens. His hand slides under my elbow to help me from the stool. He's clearly reached a decision about my needs with no input from me. I think you already did some growing today just getting here, so if you'd like, I'll introduce you to Callie. She's who sent you the invitation. I'm so relieved to not have to go by myself that I can't even be annoyed at how he's decided it's time for me to join the others. Thank you. That would be nice. His hand settles slightly on the small of my back, guiding me towards the group until I stop dead in my tracks and glance up at him, embarrassed. Oh, I haven't paid for my drink. The look he gives me is pure reassurance. It's on the house. Gentle pressure on the small of my back urges me forward again, but I shake my head, feet planted. Thank you, but I should take care of it. We've just met. Belatedly, I try to figure out why his nearness doesn't make me uneasy. In fact, I'm inexplicably reassured by the light touch. As a single woman with a sense of self-preservation, I don't allow people into my personal space often, let alone in less than 10 minutes. His low chuckle shakes me from my contemplation as he reaches out to tuck a strand of hair blowing across my face behind my ear. That drink is 90% Coke and ice. Right here or over there, there's nothing to be worried about. Meeting some others will probably relax you. Ready? Or would you like another minute? Since I don't immediately ask for more time, I find my feet moving at the behest of his guiding hand. What brings you to the party today? His light tone contradicts the intensity of the way he's watching me, as if the 30 other people on the patio don't exist. Gripping my glass tighter, I try for casual. Curiosity? He slows our pace, holding my gaze. Just curiosity? You're pretty tense for someone who's casually interested. How does this man see straight through me? I've gone to great lengths to ensure that even my unapologetically alpha male best friend doesn't suspect I'm submissive. But Graham knows nothing about me or my professional reputation, so he's seeing far more than I want him to, even though I have lots of practice at hiding my past. I search for an appropriately light answer to get us back to safe territory, but nothing believable comes to mind. I go with the embarrassing truth. I'm shy and I have a lot of questions. It's not an easy combination. He acts as if I've just said the sky is blue rather than something so personal. Questions about the club, questions about the lifestyle. I find it difficult to rank the priority of questions in my head as the utmost concern rolls off my tongue unbidden. Yes, and questions about myself. Pausing our slow walk, his eyes shine with open sincerity. You've come to the right place, Ashton, and I'm glad that you did. Of the thousand ways I imagined meeting a member of a sex club to go, this level of care and concern for a stranger wasn't an option. It's so unexpected. I'm having a hard time keeping my walls up against him. My thoughts tangle as I try to process why I feel warm and secure with him as his attention shifts to an attractive blonde woman sitting at the nearest table. Hi, Callie. I'd like to introduce you to my new friend, Ashton. Callie's warm, inviting smile lights up her entire face and rich brown eyes. Hi, Ashton. It's nice to meet you. I'm glad you could join us today. Hi. Thanks for the invitation. Nice place for happy hour. She scoots over on the bench of the picnic-style table. Would you like to sit down? This is Jordan, Abigail, and Kyle. I say hello to the others and slide away from Graham's hand as I settle into the offered seat. Immediately feeling the loss of his touch, I look up at him. Thanks for the introduction and the drink. He reaches down to stroke a single finger over my cheek. Since we just met, it should feel creepy or at least inappropriate, but somehow it just seems like a natural, reassuring gesture. He speaks as fluidly with touch as he does with words. Anytime. Enjoy yourself. He shifts his gaze back to Callie. The guys make an appearance yet? Callie shakes her head with a little scowl. Nope. Reed's covering a class and the boss was double booked with appointments today, so he'll be late. Too bad. I'll send them a text. I should get back to the bar. I'm covering Josh's break. Have a pleasant afternoon, ladies. After one more friendly grin showing off his dimple, he strides back across the patio. I watch him around the bar and wonder aloud, are all the members that lethal? Callie turns to me, laughing. Graham can be a little intimidating, but he's as good as gold. He helps manage the club. She changes the subject with an open, friendly expression. Is this your first meetup? Yes, thanks for the invitation. I have so many questions. I feel heat rising in my cheeks again and glance around the table, expecting surprise or judgment in the gazes of the others. However, no one seems shocked in the least, as if nervous, babbling people sit down so often that it's normal behavior. Kyle grins and picks up the reins of the conversation. What questions, hon? We're less intimidating than Graham, but Callie's right. He's a great guy. Multiple questions swirl through my mind all at once. I go with the most straightforward and least personal. What can you tell me about Shattered Embrace? Jordan's quick to respond, eyes twinkling. It's the best run club in the city, maybe the entire world. One where it's fun to be a sub at. Kyle snorts. Starry Eyes is still a little high from her hot scene last night, but she's not wrong. I've been to quite a few clubs, and SE is a place where safe, sane, and consensual is more than just lip service. Every room has monitors in it to ensure policies are followed. The membership is small, and the people are great. That isn't the standard everywhere. So a pretty tight group, huh? That's nice. For those in the group, being new would be a different experience, I bet. Abigail seems to understand my hesitance. I'm new to the club, and the closeness of the members was something that worried me at first. Like I might feel like an outsider, you know? The way they set up training makes it easier to get to know everyone. Beginner nights? Training? I wince at how high and tight my voice is and take a sip of my drink, searching for composure. Sounds a little bit like school. Kinky, naughty school with really hot teachers, Jordan murmurs with a giggle. I join her laughter, my tension easing. Can't go wrong with that. Abigail leans in. Honestly, the hardest part is getting past the screening process. After that, it's all training and practice of the mind-blowing kind. Taking another sip of my drink, I shift my gaze beyond the table to the others talking and laughing, as if this was a regular happy hour. I'm the only one who's nervous. The observation does a lot to ease my tension. What's involved in the screening process? I glance at Callie as she seems like she's involved in the club administration. Well, the typical club stuff, membership application, basic info on relationship status, their club memberships, preferences and limits, experience in the lifestyle, letters of reference of applying above trainee status. The club staff reviews the application and then an in-person interview, sometimes two. I can feel my eyes getting wider and wider as she rattles off such an extensive list of qualifications. She sips her drink, then continues. The rest doesn't happen until after issuing provisional membership, background check, verification of current health status, club tour. If that's all good, then new members get visitor status until the start of the next introductory group. Once that starts, visitor status becomes trainee, then full member. If you want to stay, that is. I can feel my jaw drop open. After all that, people choose not to become members? It happens fairly often, which is why there's stages. Lately, droves of people have it in their head that they're kinky, which on one hand is amazing. I love that more people will explore their sexuality, and it means adding great people to SE, but we accommodate a wide variety of lifestyle choices, and even the milder aspects of kink aren't for everyone. At every step of the application process, people don't continue, either by choice or by club decision. The club decision part only happens if someone doesn't appreciate how seriously we take the club rules. We enjoy new members, but we must also protect the club's safety, privacy, and overall atmosphere for the current members. That's understandable and reassuring. My lips curve into a grin. Although it might be harder than getting into grad school. Everyone laughs. I listen for a bit as the others chat in the way of old friends, responding enough to be companionable. Soaking in the easy, friendly atmosphere, I think about how nice it'd be to have friends to have a drink with instead of just working all the time. The shadows lengthening across the patio tell me that evening is coming without me having to look at my watch. Jordan looks down at her empty glass. I need a refill. Want to come to the bar with me, Ashton? Then I'll introduce you around if you've got time to stay. Sure, I could use another too. Anyone else need anything? I ask as I unfold my legs from under the picnic bench. You're a natural sub, sweetheart, Kyle observes with a twinkle in his eye. If you decide to join, we can drive the Doms crazy together. He wiggles his eyebrows suggestively, making me snort in the most unladylike way before putting my hand over my mouth as I laugh. He isn't wrong, but I debate how much to say. Sub trying to decide if I should come out of retirement or not. One that needs another drink. Sure you don't want anything? No way. Gavin would keep me from sitting down for a week if I have more than one before he gets here. We're heading to the club later. Jordan grabs my hand, pulling me towards the bar. I really need to get a refill before Derek gets here. He's pretty intense about not drinking much before playing. I adore him, but I also need a margarita for tonight. We join the short line for bar service. If my memory serves, I say, provoking a Dom is playing with fire, lady. You're going with it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, huh? That's usually well worth it. Exactly. I hope you decide to join SE. We'll get along so well, she smiles. We reach the front of the line, and I'm surprised Graham's not behind the bar as we order frozen strawberry margaritas. Wonder where Graham went, I muse out aloud as I watch the bartender rim our glasses with sugar. He was so nice to me when I got here. Nice isn't usually used to describe me, little one. I jump as his low, smooth voice comes from right behind me, raising all the hairs on the back of my neck. I'm startled that he's so close, only a few inches away. I stop myself from taking a step back before turning around. Too revealing, hold your ground, then full-on grin at him. I pretend not to notice how close he is and reply in the breeziest conversational tone I can manage. Oh, not when you have your bossy pants on. You know the saying about if the shoe fits. I'm a call him as I see him kind of person, so... His eyebrows lifts as his eyes dance with curiosity, like I've somehow become a puzzle. Does he like puzzles? My bossy pants stay on all the time. They're my most comfortable pair. Unable to resist the opening, I fake shock. Really? Well, they look good on you, but I had you pegged as someone who definitely enjoys getting out of his pants. I shake my head regretfully. I guess I need to refresh my people-watching skills. Jordan snickers and hands me my margarita. Sassy, I love it. She flutters her lashes and pleads playfully. Can we keep her, sir? Pretty please. She's the most interesting person I've met all day. I'm unsure if she's playing this up for him or me, but I laugh at her expression, then take a long gulp of the sweet slushy in my glass for courage. We've just left the kiddie pool, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your swim and beware of sharks lurking. Graham chuckles. Ashton isn't a stray kitten needing saving, Jordan. You can't keep her. Besides, Callie says Kyle's already lobbying for her to join the Brat Pack. Guess I should tell her the number on Team Ashton has grown. His gaze shifts to me, and there's an assessing depth that somehow is me holding my breath. You've made quite the impression on those you've met. Shall I introduce you to some more people while the subs plot your kidnapping? I fall into step on his right side, and Jordan flanks him on the left as we head back towards the table area. The crowd has doubled as he sets his hand on the small of my back again, and I pull in a breath in response, enjoying the solid warmth. No one has touched me casually like this in years, except Derek. Lots more people made it after work. I thought the get-together ended at 5. Officially it does, but many members are friends and get together regularly outside of the dungeon. I know he's watching to see my response to the dungeon reference, but I nod without reaction as he did earlier when I said unexpected things. He continues. It often happens after these happy hours. I consider that a moment, shyness flaring in my gut. I can feel heat creeping up my cheeks. How have I gotten so comfortable already? I should go now. Oh, well, I don't intrude. Maybe. Jordan cuts me off mid-sentence. Stay! Eventually pizza and munchies will get ordered and the food is good. Familiar faces will make it so much easier in the beginning of training. Her bright, welcoming smile gives me pause. What Pandora's box have I opened? I wanted to get some information, but instead I've spilled my guts to strangers. I must be lonelier than I realized. Amused by her tenacity, I grin. I'm just thinking about coming out of retirement. Before I apply, I've got a lot to think about. Then there's the membership gauntlet to run. Who knows if I'm the paragon of virtue required? I try for irony to lighten the mood, which Graham catches and which flies right over Jordan's head. Of course, no pressure, but it'd be really fun if you joined. And she trails off as a group of people off to the left beckon her. Oh, I should go check in with Maddie. Will you be okay with Graham? He huffs in mock outrage, but glances questioningly at me. Yeah, no worries. I'll grab Kyle if I need backup. He snorts. She's far safer with me than you. I'm not the one trying to get her in trouble. She rolls her eyes. I'm doing you a favor. You'll be searching for reasons to paddle her ass the second she graduates training. He grumbles in mock disapproval. Brat. Taking that as her cue to go, she wiggles her fingers at me as she departs to join the others. Graham turns his attention to me again, and I watch him settle fully into his dumb demeanor as we stand just outside the group. We aren't remotely private, but no one will overhear our conversation. Smooth Dom maneuvering on full display. His hand slides from my back to curve around my waist, casually settling me into his side. I meet his gaze, curious what caused the change in his mood. Ignoring the fact that my pulse is speeding up, I wait and simply watch him. Yes, I know how to be patient, sir. Would you like to play the waiting game with me? He owns the space around us both, slowly arching an eyebrow as if he heard my thought, which must be the biggest fiction in any novel. There's no way a stranger can know what I'm thinking. The heat smolders in his eyes as his lips curve in a half smile, a look I'm sure he's cultivated by driving women to utter distraction. Suddenly, all my bravado is wavering as my breath whooshes out of me in a gust, and my palms start to sweat. I keep my gaze on his eyes, looking for clues as the voice in my head begins to lecture. Oh, for God's sake, get a hold of yourself. We're standing in a crowd in the daylight. Yes, he's a dom, but not my dom. What am I, 20 again? I need to at least pretend to have my shit together. As I'm busy telling myself to quit being a nitwit, he leans down and murmurs close to my ear. I think Kyle is right. You're a natural submissive. I'm intrigued by your unusual training. What does that mean? Am I being weird? Clearing my throat to force words past the tight lump that's trying to choke me. Unusual? How so? I can't look away from his gaze. I don't want to. I'd rather snuggle tighter into his side, which is crazy. My mind warns me to behave, but it's clearly losing the battle with the rest of me. Then again, he looks and feels like misbehaving just might be welcome. His fingers gently caress my cheek, and it tips into his palm before I can stop it. I wait, partly because this is a test of some kind, and partly because I've no idea what to say. His lips quirk up in a half smile as he regards me intently, and a long moment passes as he considers me. Very unusual indeed, little one. His thumb traces along my jaw in an unhurried, lazy way. You're solidly holding your eyes on mine, waiting for some clue as to what I'm about. Your focus and patience are surprising given how nervous you were a short while ago. I can practically hear you arguing with yourself, making your stillness an even bigger gift. His words flow in a soft certainty that his assessment is correct. Another unstoppable shiver rolls up my spine as his breath moves over my ear and neck, and I fight hard to not soften into his warmth. Reading me like an open book, his arm tightens around my waist, drawing me closer. His tone becomes laced with another notch of authority, demanding my answer to his question. Have you decided if you're afraid of me yet? I blink in total shock, immediately shaking my head to clear my thoughts, but not far enough to break the contact of his fingers on my cheek. I know more about power exchange than he thinks. I'm not afraid of you. If I were, I wouldn't be standing here, especially since you decided to try your dumb voice on me. I lower my voice to a conspiratorial whisper, as he's yet to draw away to a normal distance befitting the setting. We're surrounded by people, not in a scene, and barely know one another, Mr. Bossapants. So, we both know the options for you to be pushy are limited. If I'm even considering doing this, I need to find my honest words, even if they're hard. So, I confess. My reaction to you is what's scaring me. I desperately wish I could see his reaction to the raw words, but neither of us has moved as we whisper cheek to cheek. Surely we must look so strange standing together, especially since he needs to lean down pretty far to match his face to mine. I'm far too curious as to how he'll respond to my admission to move away from him and lose the moment. Don't be afraid of yourself. You came to the right place. Take the time you need to consider, but you're a sweet submissive in your soul. Hiding yourself away would be a tragedy. One does not retire from who they are. His lips barely brush the side of my neck, and he makes a sound conveying heated appreciation, which makes my knees wobble. He slides back, letting the intensity flow out of the moment. I draw a deep breath, convincing my spine to keep holding me up, unsure how to respond. I search for some socially acceptable response and come up empty. His arm around me tightens to steady me. Do you still want to meet more people, or shall we find Callie and ask her to give you a club application to review? Didn't he just tell Jordan not to push? He's offered me 2 choices, neither of which is walking me to my car and home to think. I need some time to sort this out. Today wasn't supposed to be about diving headfirst into the deep end of the pool. Even worse, I really like these people, which means I shouldn't drop the bomb that is me into their happiness. But something deep inside me is screaming for more of what happened this afternoon and even darker, dirtier things. My submissive soul is begging to be let out again. Set my rapidly melting, mostly full margarita on an empty tray nearby, feigning normalcy. Let's find Callie, please.